Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Whipsnade Zoo recreation in Planet Zoo. It's been a little while now and I decided to hop back in and do a little bit more of this. So we're going to do something a little bit different in this one, so it's not going to be too animal focused, but it's quite a main part of the zoo and almost sort of an iconic part of it. Especially at a certain time of year. So what we're going to do is, this isn't the iconic part, we're going to do the toilet block down here and try and do a bit of this kind of off-show, or not off-show, like this little bit here, the kind of backstage areas for some staff bits, the toilet block, this kind of little area here, and then we are also going to do this road coming down here. So this is the main one. So this is all completely like lined with cherry trees, which obviously we have got in the game, and it's gonna look quite nice. And obviously in the springtime we've got all the blossom and stuff. It's really nice at that time of year, and it looks really nice. So yeah, that would be quite a nice one to do in here. And then we will also do, which I did start on a live stream, so if you haven't checked out any of my stuff on Twitch, and I do the odd one on YouTube as well, then check out my live streams. I do all sorts of builds, and I'll leave a link in the description for my Twitch channel. But yeah, we've also started doing this amphitheatre kind of area down here. So this isn't really used anymore, but it's obviously still a feature of the zoo, so we need to put it in. So we've done the main kind of sort of frame of it, the main outline, the main sort of structure. I won't show too much in great detail, but we've kind of done that. But we need to do some terrain work and stuff, some planting and all that sort of thing. So I won't do all this kind of stuff, but just this main little sort of area here with the actual steps and bits there and seating. So yeah, that is what we're going to do in this episode. So as always, I will put some pictures in of what these areas should look like, and I will join you back when it's all finished. Right guys, so we are back and finished. So obviously not the most thrilling episode of this series, being a few kind of not very exciting areas, but obviously still some very important areas in terms of the zoo itself and in a lot of zoos. So we've got the three main parts to look at, so we will start down the bottom here. So as I said, this is the toilet block. So we have got it all detailed, looking pretty good, I think, compared to my pictures that I've got. The window's not quite the same. I didn't make custom ones. I used these ones, even though they're a little bit of a different shape. But I thought they weren't too bad looking. Maybe I'll change them at some point in the future, but for now they're pretty good, I think. Signage wise, a little bit awkward. Again, didn't really want to do custom signage if I could help it, so I've used sort of in-game signs, but I've managed to make them the kind of rough look of how they are in terms of colours and kind of average sort of size. We've got like the doors and things, and I've decided to use these. These are the Australian wall like decoration parts that they do light up, which is the annoying thing, because I don't really want them to light up, but just in place of certain signs. So a lot of these signs have got like male and female sort of changing room signs and things like that. So I thought I might as well just use the colours to just kind of imply these signs, and I think they're kind of fairly effective. I think they work fairly well. Roof was a bit awkward to make work. You can see there's a little bit of Z fighting there happening still, but I can sort that out. But yeah, in general, this is it for the toilet block. I'm quite happy with how that one looks. Next to it, we've got this kind of service area for the restaurant and that sort of thing, mess room areas and stuff, I think, some storage and bits. So this is just an enclosed, I'm not really sure what's in there, so I've just done the same as this style, but I may change it to a proper wooden panel fence that's all custom made at some point, but for now I'll just leave it as logs with some bamboo screening and bits. Then in this area we've got this porter cabin type thing, which is a strange brown colour, a little bit of detailing on that. And then this bit, which I think has turned out quite nice, so we've got a few little flower beds, quite a lot of pallets and bits around the back there. I've changed up the planting here because it was way too big for the space to actually be able to fit the detailing in, so I've changed it to a few smaller trees there instead, which work a bit better for the space. We've got a little greenhouse which is slightly bigger than it needs to be, just because it works so much better with the pieces being gridded. I could actually make it all fit together nicely and be the same style rather than trying to custom make it, so it's ever so slightly bigger than it should be, but it's still it has the right kind of look, which is good. And then just a few random little pots and bits around. I've not gone way into trying to make everything exactly what was laying here at the time when I had a look and that sort of thing, but just the general vibe of it being a greenhouse, some flower beds, the pallet bits, a little bit of planting and just a few little bits around the side, and we've got this little fence that goes across as well to block that off. And then pathing wise is a little bit awkward, but we've kind of made it work with a few little patches to cover up. It's not going to be quite exact because it's quite hard to make it all work out. This is actual proper path as well. It is 2 metre path that's been lined alongside, so I've joined up some of the gaps and bits and bobs, but yeah, I don't think it's going to work to be exact, so it's still roughly correct. We've got a random little indent there. Sometimes there's like an ice cream van parked there and that sort of thing, so it's just a little tarmac area. And then this bit, which we've finally been able to finish up from when we did the aviary and the cafe episodes. We've left this bit empty, but now it's kind of filled in. So this is kind of a mixture of older and newer photos. In the Google images, it's all kind of bark, quite neat and barked. But currently it is a bit more grassy, a bit more overgrown, not as much sort of set bark. But I thought we'd use the bark path and some soil and some patches of grass to kind of make it look like it is still a sort of designated area, a little separate area, but it's a little bit overgrown, not quite as neat. So just a bit of grass poking through and stuff. But I think that looks quite nice from over there. If you look too much into it, you see like the joins in the between terrain and path and that sort of thing. But yeah, not too bad. We've done the planting as well all around here. A couple of bigger trees, and then just some more bamboo screening. It's a shame we don't have some smaller bamboo because it'd be quite useful for these. These are sunk right down into the ground, but it still works fairly well, I think. So yeah, this little area is down. There's a little slight hill there. So yeah, there's still some detailing to do in this section because this is all to do with the railway area, which is down here. So I've left this section so we can make all that accurate when we come to do all the actual railway portion of this build. So a little bare patch there, but then we come down to this. So this is Cherry Tree, as we call it, or Central Avenue, I think is the proper name for it, because they do have road names, all the parts of the roads in the zoo. So you can probably tell why it's called Cherry Tree, and as I said earlier, loads of cherry trees lining the whole road. So we've sort of made it a little bit more varied in terms of sizes of trees. So there's a few bigger ones. I mean, these probably are too big for the real ones, but just to give a little bit more variety, some bollards and bits at certain points. Mostly we've used the small and the medium-sized cherry trees, and then for the newer planted trees that are obviously fairly small, the smallest cherry tree is a bit too big. If we had a sapling one, it'd be kind of good because it would be a bit more accurate, but I decided that just to spice it up a little bit, the sapling beech trees I've used in place of the cherry trees for the smallest ones, for the newest planted ones, because obviously as trees maybe get a bit diseased or a bit old and will die off and that sort of thing, they've been replaced if they've needed to be removed. So there's a few stumps and things around some of these newer trees too, just to kind of show the fact that they've been chopped down to the stumps and the new ones put in their place. So yeah, it's a really nice central feature in the spring when all the blossoms out. It's a really attractive area. It doesn't quite have the popping factor because it's a bit bare to the sides, but especially once all that area is done, it will look a lot nicer, a bit more in place. When we get to this crossroads, I've made these barriers. They were a little bit difficult to make because obviously stripes, we don't have pieces this small, but I've kind of used a method where they're just moved up each one, so that you can't really tell that it's thinner and really a lot wider there, but if you look close you can, but from a distance they look nice and stripy. So these are just barriers that can be put across the road, and the bits that they sit in, which I was really happy with. These pieces work quite well. They just have a little lock that goes through there that I haven't put in, but that is that. We've got a big tree here that's a willow tree, which I really hope at some point we'll get in the game, because they're really nice, distinct, iconic looking trees that we have a few of in the zoo. So yeah, it'd be nice to get them, but in place we've got just another bigger tree. More bollards. So yeah, this is the crossroads, so that goes down towards the otters and the giraffes and all that. So the road's in place, but I haven't detailed. All this is the event space, and then we will see on this side. There's still some more to do down there though. And then that goes down towards the Discovery Centre, which is over here, which we'll get to at some point. That'll be quite an interesting one, quite detailed as well. And then this goes up to the main roundabout towards the main entrance and the lemurs down here. So just more of the same, all the different planting, the stumps and bits, and some more bollards. So that is cherry tree from this end. Still looks very nice. I'm glad we actually have the cherry trees in the game, because that means we can actually create this a bit more accurately. It'd be a shame if we couldn't actually have the blossom, or if I had to somehow make custom cherry trees just to give the vibe of being all the blossom and stuff. That would be awkward. So yeah, I'm quite happy that we've got them. So the last bit of this week's Whipsnade episode is this. So if any of you follow me on Twitch, you will have seen me build this arena step area in one of the streams. So if you haven't already followed me on there, then the link is in the description, so you can go over there and follow or subscribe. I'm now affiliate on Twitch, so you are able to subscribe as well. And yeah, you can keep up to date with any of my live building, and if you'd like to see that, as well as my pre-recorded videos like this. So yeah, check that one out. So this is one of 3 arenas, I think, like this. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's 3. So yes, it was a nice test, but I'm very happy with how it's turned out actually. It's all kind of built into this mound that goes down the back there, a natural mound. So we've tried to make it fit. It's not quite accurate, obviously. We know the terrain going up to these and not clipping through the rest of it won't really work, but in general it's pretty good. So it looks down onto this just open space. So this isn't used for anything currently. They used to bring the elephants down here when they brought them round, but they don't do that anymore. So it's just an empty arena. So we've tried to get a little bit of the vibe that it's a little bit overgrown and unused. People can still access it, and if they wanted to sit there and eat or have picnics, that sort of thing, if they want to. But yeah, just a little bit overgrown. So put a little bit of moss and a few little nettles sticking out and bits like that all the way along, just to kind of give that vibe off. And then in here it's all just grassy. We've got this fence all the way around it with a few gaps in it for people to get into it, and then just a few trees in the middle as well, or towards the back I should say. So that is the arena. So yeah, a couple more of these to make, different shapes and sizes and things, so it's nice to have one completed, one under my belt. So yes, that is everything for this episode. As I said, not the most thrilling stuff, unfortunately, but very important aspects, major roads and things, and it's nice to just have things like this with the cherry trees, and the arena is a nice little feature. Something quite realistic. Well, obviously it's realistic because it's a recreation, but something realistic that maybe you might want to try and build in your zoos, some sort of display areas or show areas that you might want to put in there. And then toilet blocks that are realistic, and little picnic areas and stuff. Very important things. So that is it for this week's episode. I'm, as always, not too sure exactly which area I'll tackle next. There's a few different areas that we can try and get done now. I may try and stick around this area and do some more of these bits, or try and fill in some of the other side of the road here, possibly. We could go down towards the Asia section down here, and we'll continue some of the Africa bits or the Europe bits. So we've yeah, plenty of options. And as I said, I'm going to try and stick to doing one of these a month if I can, but yeah, it just depends on timings and what other projects and bits and bobs I've got on the go. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, seeing some slightly different elements of the recreation and of general sort of zoo design and stuff. So as I said, if you haven't already, check out my Twitch channel. I've been streaming quite regularly now. Not on a set schedule, but still quite a few of them, which is nice. I'm quite enjoying streaming and getting to chat to people and seeing different ideas and that sort of thing. So yeah, if you're interested, link is below. If you haven't already, you can join my Discord to talk all things Planet Zoo and animals and general stuff if you would like. And again, link down below, and the link to my Twitter is also down below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you would like to keep up to date with this series and my other series and random showcase videos and things like that. And comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions or anything for future videos or builds, or anything you think it would be cool for me to try and do, or anything you'd like to see next in this series or anything like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.